Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Denim. As a business owner myself, I personally know the importance of financial stability and preserving cash flow to help navigate through any freight market. With Denim's comprehensive service offering, you now have an all-in-one financial partner whose platform includes factoring, payments, freight audit, document collection management, and analytics, which help keep your business financially healthy and increase your team's time to focus on revenue-producing activities. You can also take advantage of Denim's free credit check, which they perform on all of your customers. And Denim will proactively reach out to you if they spot any signs of credit deterioration. Finally, Denim always pays your carriers first. As a broker, this is imperative to preserving your credit score in the market, which ultimately helps you become a broker of choice to your carrier partners. Are you ready to learn more? Visit denim.com to schedule a demo today. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, but most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak with transportation professionals, because at the end of the day, you guys, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Corey Buchan, happy Thirsty Thursday over on YouTube. Sonny Sharma, good Thursday morning. Orange Shirt Gang, he's coming in over on LinkedIn. And yeah, you guys, we got a guest, a very special guest for you guys here today. We're going to talk about a very great event they got coming up here in the next couple of weeks, but we're also going to be talking about automating some freight quotes and being more efficient and everything on that. So with that being said, I got my man Dave McCoy here with BitFreighter on the show. So Dave, thank you so much for joining me.
What's up, Mr. Jolly? How are you?
Oh man, I am ready to rock. It is prime time right now. We got legitimately, we have more freight moving right now than we have ever since our inception. And it's really, really exciting to see that growth. And, so many things when you start anything, you just want that instant results, instant success and everything. But it just does not work out that way. It always takes so much longer than you want. But I truly think it happens like that for a reason, man, because anybody thinks that they can move 1,000 shipments until there's 1,000 shipments dropped on their lap and they're like, pick them up in the next 48 hours. Then you don't want 1,000 shipments anymore. So,
I mean, yeah, you gotta know what you can commit to for sure.
No, man, that's it. So dude, tell us a little bit about yourself here, Dave. I mean, I've known you here for a little bit, but what brought you into freight and everything, man?
We all stumble into it some way, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, I when I got out of school, I became an insurance agent, and the money was not what I expected. And so I started looking around. Actually, the parking lot across the street from my insurance office, I didn't know what they did, they just had nice cars in the office, and I was like, what I want to do, what they're doing. So I went over there and just like met with the CEO and started working in software. Left that the insurance gig and got into software. And one of the companies that this software company integrated with was DAT. So I got to know DAT and spent a couple of years at the software company I was at, and that I wasn't making what I really wanted to there, and started talking to the folks at DAT and stumbled into freight from there. Then that was back in like 2008, 2009. Spent a lot of years at DAT. I managed all of the TMS accounts, every single one of them. So there was 400, 500 TMS customers for DAT, and I managed every single one of them. I came damn near close to visiting every single one of them. And there was one thing that always I could never help with, and that was integrations. That everybody would say, how can you help? How can we integrate something better? How can you, like, EDI was the one that was always just like at the top of everybody's list of like, it's so expensive, it's so difficult, the support always sucks. We have a change that needs to be made, or like my tenders aren't coming through, and I have to wait 2 weeks to get a response, and I'm paying $5,000 a month just to connect to this shipper that's forcing EDI down my throat. And that always like resonated with me through the years. Just more and more, I was always thinking like, man, this is crazy. There's like a technology out there, even back, 30 years ago, that was complete automation of tenders, tender acceptances, status updates being linked with the shipper platform. But it was always like, the brokers were always like, we don't want to adopt that into our office unless we absolutely have to, because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So the only way that they'd get into it is if one of their biggest customers shoved it down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, that's just crazy, man. Like, here's a way to be connected with your shipper, but everybody's pushing it back. So one of the customers that I managed, one of the brokers, there was a guy there named Brad Perling who asked the same question to me. I was like, there's nothing else out there. It is what it is. And so that got his mind rolling a little bit. And it was like right around there that COVID hit, and everybody took a step back and went home for a couple of weeks. And so during that couple of weeks, he like started really thinking about, maybe we could offer something that is modern, keeps the price down for brokers to be able to connect to the shippers, and be able to like let brokers add EDI.
Yeah.
Not have it be forced down their throat, have it be something that lets them scale their operation and be more efficient. And so that's really how BitFreighter was born. And of course I was like, well, I want a part of this. So, I jumped on, and we started as just an EDI van company that we wrote a proprietary platform, modern platform, with the goal of keeping the cost down, like data costs and all that, so we could pass those savings on to our customers and let brokers scale their EDI operation and let them reach out to their customers and say, hey, we want to get you on EDI. That was cool. So we were really successful from the onset of changing the way people think about EDI. And from there, we got into, like you said at the start, getting into automated quoting. We thought that was a nice addition to our platform to really round it all out. So now we have kind of a full platform that really automates the entire life cycle of the load now. So we have a quoting platform. So if you have a customer that wants to set up a broker or carrier as like a preferred partner, and they're saying, hey, we want to get instant pricing from you at any time, they can connect to us and you can give them that instant pricing. Or if you have spot boards that you're bidding on, we have integrations already that connect to those, and you can plug it in and just start bidding. Some of them like same day. We're very quick setups. We have existing integrations, so you can bid out to those spot boards through our platform. If you have customers that they want to get rate requests via EDI, they want to send an EDI transmission, want you to return a quote back to them. We're an EDI company, so we do that too. So there's all these different ways that we integrate. So you can send out a quote, you get awarded a tender, flows back through our system. Then we have 30 plus integrations to carrier TMSs. So we can just push those right in. We're already integrated with those to accept the tender, and you get notified you just want a tender. And so your contracted freight is covered with EDI. Your spot quotes are being pushed in via EDI or API. So yeah, it's kind of the overall there.
No, I think that, from I remember the first time I met Brad, and he was talking about what you guys were doing over at BitFreighter, and when it came down to EDI and how expensive it is, and compared to what he was looking to get out there, and I'm seeing a trend like that out there in the whole freight tech space, where it was kind of fat and happy for a very long time, and people could kind of charge whatever because there wasn't a lot of competition. To put it bluntly, there was not a lot of competition that was out there, so people could kind of name their price on it. And EDI was kind of the catalyst of that, because you're like, why am I spending $8,000-$10,000 a month on this service? I'm doing it because my customer needs it, but it can't be that expensive. And that's like what I look forward to the most through innovation here inside of the freight tech space is a lot of the bloated price tags are going to start getting slashed as more and more efficient technology comes to market that's out there. That's where the competition starts to drive, because some stuff that's out there right now, man, it costs more than 2 people's salaries in a year to run that stuff. And then you talk to some of these competitors that are out there, because like the beauty of like going to like Technovations, TIA, there, and then the Capital Ideas conferences, is you start talking to some of these newer vendors that are out there, and they start explaining like, hey, actually, we're able to come in like 80% less than some people because we don't have X, Y, and Z, or, frankly, we know what it actually costs to process some of this data, and we don't have any exuberant marketing budgets or anything like that to kind of cover why those price tags are there. And I think, like, again, your guys' approach is, you mentioned it here, Brad's mentioned it numerous times. We want to bring an effective product at a great cost to our customers, which are the brokers, because most brokers, especially right now, man, where the market is, technology is going to be the first thing that they're looking at. They're going to be like, all right, why are we spending X on this? Where's the ROI that's associated with it? And where I like things going, because like with pricing, for example, we brought you guys are really out there with live quoting, and you guys have a great partnership with my friends over at Green Screens. I use Green Screens inside of my brokerage. Like their prices sometimes, like more times than not, but I use this example because this happened last week. It was $13. There was a $13 difference between what Green Screen said I would pay and what I actually paid on the load. So like, I don't know how much of a beyond a shadow of a doubt you need than that to get out there, because things are shifting. You do need to get prices out faster. And then essentially, as a broker, whatever your customer says you need to do, from pricing, EDI, all of that, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to get their freight.
Yeah. And like you mentioned about like the freight spend, the tech spend, like one thing that I noticed is there were so many people that were like, their EDI bill was as much or more than what they're paying for their TMS.
Mm-hmm.
That if anyone out there is in that world, please call us. That's ridiculous. It should not be that at all. And then, with green screens, it's great because we can bring in a green screens rate into our platform, so you can have that starting point. And then we have our own proprietary rules engine. So you set up a shipper profile in our system. You bring in a green screens rate, and then you use the rules engine to really take everything that you know in your head of how you quote that customer, everything, all the details, as simple as it is or as complex as it is, and offload all that knowledge into our system, so that when you get something on spot board that you're wanting to bid on for your customer, or if they're like requesting an instant quote from you, you know that you have taken everything in your brain of how you want to quote that customer, and you have loaded it into our platform, so it's quoting exactly how you would quote.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think taking, do not quote situations. We don't want to haul anything coming out of some West Coast state or whatever, or you don't want to quote if it's, if it's picking up in less than 4 hours, or and then beyond that, like you say, if it's picking up in if it's coming out of this location and it's going a certain amount of miles and the lead time is less than 12 hours, let's take green screens and add $200 to it.
Yeah.
You can get accessorials. You can get, as detailed as you want and create scenarios. It's a really cool platform. We're all super proud of it. I welcome anyone to reach out and take a look at it. The rules engine is really next generation automated quoting.
Yeah, I think that, because quoting, I would say the number 2 question that I get out there, number 1 is hey, how can I find shippers? How can I find customers? That's like unrivaled as the number 1 question that I receive.
For
but
sure.
number 2 is how do I even price my freight? And, I think that it's not as cut and dry as a lot of people think, because there are so many situations that are out there that you're going to come up with. Like, there is a massive difference in a quote of I need a truck in the next 30 minutes, or hey, I just need a price that could move here in the next couple of weeks. Like, there's different rules that are associated with that. And then same thing with, I always look at reefer freight, for example. My man Sonny Sharma does reefer freight all the time. And these guys are, there's 3 different prices for reefer. There's your frozen rate, there's your fresh rate, and there's your temp controlled rate and stuff like that. So it's like, you need to know what you're actually bidding on. And I just obviously I'm a massive fan of pricing tools and stuff that are out there, but I don't want people to ever walk in to a situation and then they're like calling you up, Dave. They're like, Dave, what the hell, man? Your rate, you told me I was going to pay this. And then you ask them a couple of below surface level questions. You're like, well, no, man, this is all, if this is a perfect world scenario, but if there's some rush order behind it, if it needs to be expedited, you need to ask questions on the front end to your customers and prospects. I always like to throw those caveats out there.
Yeah, there's always caveats. And with automated quoting, it is, there's always question marks of like, can I accurately quote when there's, all those caveats? And we get a lot of information whenever something is posted out there, the details of the load. And then when that comes over, if our customers have created any kind of markup rule or do not quote rule or anything like that, you can set those parameters up in our system to where it knows what to do. There's test routes. So you can like say, I've set all my rules up, but do I really want to click this on and just let it hum and see what happens?
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't want to do that. So you can test things out and test scenarios and see what our quoting platform is going to quote based off what you put in there before you turn it on. So you can just have some more peace of mind. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. There's going to be some learning curves and things you forgot about, and you're going to have to go in there and you might lose a little. You're going to be bidding on more. You need to set your capacity limits in there so you're not overcommitting. But yeah, you're right. You can definitely have a learning experience and go in there and lose some money on some and win some on more and tweak things until it takes, a month or 2 of getting it just right. And you just kind of let that thing hum.
Yeah, I think that a lot of brokers need to understand that, like, you kind of make your money in volume, right? Like, you can't look at it as like, oh, I don't want to lose $100 on this load, but because it's like, it's that transactional mindset that a lot of people are in, especially when they're a new customer and everything else. They don't have a lot of revenue. So they're like, I can't afford to lose money because I don't even have any money on it. But you're also, and this is always easier to say when you have revenue coming in, where you need to look long-term with this stuff, because I wish I would win on every single transaction that I ever did in the entirety of my business, but that's just not the case. You have to look at the long-term of these things. And yeah, you might lose on a couple, you might be off on a little, but you're learning the way that freight markets actually operate. You're learning how lanes actually perform certain days of the week. Every lane performs at a different price point throughout the week sometimes, right? You talk to anybody out there, LA on a Friday, you tell me that you're going to pay the exact same rate out of LA on a Friday that you did throughout the rest of the week. And if they tell you that they did, they either have a contracted carrier that does it, or they're bold-faced lying to you, because I've seen certain freight markets spike like $500, $600, $700, $800 within a 2-hour period on where some of these things are going. So it's like, quoting on freight, bidding on freight, it's an art, you guys. And this is why I always say you got to learn these things on a lane by lane basis. That's why I hate national averages so much, Dave. Like, I understand that there has to be a national average, but like, that's just not the case, man. Like, you can't look at, $2.10. I'm going to quote that on everything because that's the national average. So every lane has to be that.
Oh man, yeah, that would be a nightmare. Yeah.
Man, so you guys, I want to make sure that we talk about this here. You guys got a big event coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's on the 12th, right? August 12th?
Yep. Week after next. It's what we've done with this event is it's only our second year of doing it, but when we were talking about at first we just wanted a golf scramble. And I always thought golf scrambles they're fun, but you might leave there like not getting anything out of it. Like, yeah, I was paired with someone that I might get some business out of it or something like that. It's or I might get some good conversation. But there's so many more people that I never got to talk to. And then you go to a conference and you get a lot out of that, and maybe you golf as well, but it's spanned over many days. So we wanted to take a conference kind of atmosphere and mix it with our golf scramble tournament, which ended up being a jam-packed, probably like 3 days worth of stuff jam-packed into one day of what we call an integrated tech summit. And it's essentially it's a golf tournament mixed with a very condensed conference. So you get there, and there's we have a floor for our sponsors and the vendors to set up, and you can go meet with all the vendors that are sponsoring. There's a bunch. We have speakers, so we've got some shippers that are there to talk about how they are incorporating automated quote requests into their platform and what they're expecting of it. So that's going to be very interesting. So we have speakers, and then we golf, and then we go have a big party afterwards, Nashville downtown.
That city is always, it's one of my favorite spots to go into, but no,
it's fun.
I like the structure of what that event is bringing to the table, right? Because I feel like sometimes, conferences can get long, and not everybody has the time, because this is where I'm at in my business, man. I don't have the time to go to a bunch of conferences at all because I'm trying to build a business. I can't fly out and spend 3 days somewhere because that's 3 days of lost revenue, or I'm going to these conferences and I'm working out of my hotel room and I'm not at the conference that I paid to be at and stuff like that. So what you guys are doing by condensing it down there like that, I think that's the only way to roll. And then you throw golf on top of that. Who doesn't like to golf? At the end of the day, who doesn't like to golf? Who doesn't like to hang out and do that? So no, I think that's a great thing. And dude, I found out here recently that Nashville has like some of the best golf courses that are out there. It's actually kind of like it might be a hidden golf course kind of mecca out there from what I've heard from some of my buddies who are big into golf.
I just moved here. I have golfed there's 2 courses I've golfed that I don't really know anything about any of the others, but I hope you're right. I'll talk to you in a few months and let you know.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dude.
The biggest thing about this event is what's behind it. We're raising money for ALS awareness. ALS is just a devastating nerve disease that essentially it breaks down your muscles. Like you lose function of your muscles, which means like things you don't think about, like being able to talk, obviously, but being able to not swallow anymore. And there's no cure. There's no cure for this horrible disease. And so we're raising money. We're partnering with ALS to give them as big of a check as we can to help them in their research. Can I Can I share a couple links in here for anybody that's?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You definitely share them out there right now, because I know that there's going to be a link that you guys want people, if you're able to go out and donate, to go over to this link.
Yeah, we've got a couple of places you can go. Here's the link for our golf event. It is sold out. If anybody wants to join the event, we can get on a waiting list. And I know it's just the week after next, and you're like, oh man, but yeah, if you want to get on a waiting list, if you really want to come to the event, reach out to me on LinkedIn, email me, call us. We'll put you on there, and if anybody drops out, we'll get you on. But you can also donate to ALS right from bitfreightergolf.com. Or, I mean, if you just want to donate right to ALS, I mean, any help at all is obviously extremely appreciated.
No, definitely, guys. Just go to bitfreightergolf.com to drop in your if you guys want to go out there and donate to that. And then there's also, here's another link I'll put up on the screen here, and I will make sure that we put these in the show notes as well. And you guys, you know, ultimately when it comes down to it, I like using this platform for more than just talking about freight. You know, like this audience, the audience here. I mean, my nephew was a recipient in the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we raised like 12 grand for the Make-A-Wish Foundation just off of this little old podcast that we got going on here, man. The audience steps up big in these situations, and you know, everything that we worry about in life is so irrelevant when you are in scenarios like with ALS and other, you know, diseases like that. That's when you really actually understand what's truly important in life. And, you know, a lot of these problems that we think we have are not problems at all. Yeah, they might be annoying in the moment, but like they're not problems. When, you know, you're diagnosed with an uncurable disease and you lose your motor skills and your ability to function. And, you know, there's so many people that are affected by ALS. And, you know, one of the more notable ones out there is Steve Gleason. He was a former NFL player, and, you know, he was on the ESPYs here recently. And, you know, it's so sad to see that and to see anybody go through it. And, you know, this is where it's like, you gotta, you know, stand up and stand together as an industry or an organization and put your best foot forward. I mean, and every little thing helps though, you know, like I want to be clear about that, because I think some people are embarrassed if they can only donate $1 or $5 like that. It's not the dollar amount that is, you know, it's the intent behind it. And the fact that if that's all you can do, that's more meaningful than somebody who just donates because like they're doing it for a tax write-off, you know? And it is, every little bit helps out there. And you know, because I, you know, just like with everything with my nephew's Make-A-Wish thing that we were doing, I mean, some people, it was, you know, $5 here and $7 there. It's like, dude, that like just the fact that you're giving your hard-earned money up is, you know, and donating it to a great cause. That's what the best part about it, man. So that's what I want to see, you know, anything that anybody can do out there. Don't, you know, if it is $1 or $10 or $100, whatever that amount is, every little bit helps you guys.
I appreciate that very much, Chris.
No, 100%, man. This is all for me. Ultimately, when it boils down to, the only thing I want to do is help people with this podcast, with whatever comes in life. I just want to help people. I want to make this world a better place. And I just feel like at the end of the day, that's where we always got to focus, no matter what, because there are people out there who have it way, way worse than any one of us who are watching this show or listening to this show on replay could even comprehend, you know. And every little bit helps. And, you know, because again, like nobody's coming, man. You know, when it boils down to it, nobody's coming to save us. It's us. It's us as a community. It's us as citizens to come together and band together and help your neighbors and help people out in these times.
Yeah, well put. A little misty-eyed. You're making me misty-eyed.
Yeah, dude. But it's the truth, man. You know, it's the honest to God truth. And I feel like these are those times, and these are these platforms and everything out there. And this event that you guys are putting on is such a great cause behind it. And those are the important things in life. Everything else is replaceable. So, Well, Dave, I appreciate you joining me here today, man. I want to, thank you on that. And then just make sure you guys go out to bitfreightergolf.com to register for that. And then they can donate on bitfreightergolf.com if they want, right?
Yep. Donate right on bitfreightergolf.com. Get on a waiting list. Or go to als.org to learn about it, to donate or get involved if you want from that website. Yeah. Either one would work just fine.
Perfect. Sounds great, Dave. Thank you so much for joining me here today, you guys. And as always, you guys, if you guys got value in what you heard, first and foremost, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. Go donate. All right? Go donate, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And we'll be talking to you soon.